Mr. Mayor, councilmen, women, my name is Jack Everett. I'm the Vice President of the Oro Valley Historical Society, and I'm pleased to be here tonight to review the recent accomplishments of the Historical Society and discuss future goals for our partnership with the town as we work to keep Oro Valley history alive. Our society was formed in 2005 with the mission statement as noted up there, and the very next year we had the first of a series of agreements with the town that formed the basis of our partnership. The first was a memorandum of understanding which basically codified the mission statement of the Historical Society, and that was followed by agreements concerning the Heritage Garden and 09 down to the steam pump branch, and the space for our storage and collections was just agreed to this year. We also provided a number of members on the task force that wrote the master plan for the steam pump branch. So if we're partners with the town, then we must be doing something. Well, we are. We are responsible for the for updating the rotating exhibits that we have in the display case in the library, historical exhibits. And in collaboration with the library, we have developed the Heritage Book Collection and the Seed Library. When Honeybee was excavated, we were down there with the video cameras observing and preserving for future reference the activities. And when the steam pump ranch was purchased, we were in the chicken coops and the various other buildings, digging through the many artifacts, pictures, and documents, which we then digitized and photographed for future use. More recently, we have developed the gardens, the Heritage Indian Gardens down at the ranch, and in that same enclosure, we have, in collaboration with the Archaeology Southwest organization, have built the Pit House. This is an authentic house built with authentic materials and techniques. That's going to be a very strong educational component down there. As you can imagine, the kids love this place. We've also provided docents for the tours and many activities down at the ranch, including the special events. So that's a quick run through of the things that we've been doing. A couple of years ago, we decided that we were being driven by events rather than being out in front of them. So we decided we needed to draw a strategic plan, and we did, and you see it before you here. The first goal on there is pursuing the reality of an expanded facility at the steam pump ranch. And what this means to us mostly is, first of all, we have to get a cover over the remnants of the pump house. That building is deteriorating badly, and we think some way to protect that would be very valuable. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. And the second thing is just to continue the historic restoration of the other historic structures down at the ranch. The remaining goals, oops, I meant to leave that there, yes. The remaining goals, 2 through 5, pertain to all of the historic and archaeological resources in the town, not just, but they also include the steam pump ranch. The next goal there is to engage people in meaningful experiences, and our hope there is that we can do that once the facilities are improved or where we have a place to bring people down to visit them beyond the ranch house itself. That's the other facilities. And we want to develop a multimedia presentation for schools and school children and visitors, and also a historic tour similar to the art tour, where we could identify and describe all of the various resources, historic resources and locations we have in town, so that people might be able to more easily find them and visit them. We think this could be a component to the town's pretty successful efforts at tourism. Next, we decided that we had to pull all of our collections, which are scattered all over town, into a central location. With the help of the town, we've got an interim location down at the ranch that we have that's been improved by the town, and is now got all of our collections, or virtually everything that we were worried about, has been moved into the site down at the ranch, where we're now curating it and preparing it for future use. The next thing relates to our visibility in the community. We've got a lot of plans, things we'd like to do. We need volunteers, and we think by getting our visibility raised in the community, we'll have a better chance of matching the many talented people that we're sure exist here in town with the needs that we have and the things we'd like to do. So we're going to be publicizing our activities. We've got a new website. Hope you have a chance to take a look at that sometime. It's a very good, very modern website. We're going to use blast-style emails and social media, of course. The last item on there is to improve and preserve all of our historic areas. We want to identify all of the remaining sites that we've got in town and make sure that they're identified, and we're partnering with government, arts, and education organizations to do that. Now on to the upcoming emphasis areas that we'd like to see concentrated on in the next couple of years. The first one relates to the steam pump ranch. The town has been very generous in its support of capital improvements. We've got the restrooms, the parking area, the ramada for the farmers market. That's all been very, very well received down there. But we note that it's been 2010 since there's been any work or any funding for historic restoration, and that's the thing that we're concerned about. That money was spent to restore the ranch, and that has become the iconic attraction in the historic area of the steam pump ranch.
It's beautiful.
I've been a frequent docent down there, and when I'm standing there watching people come in, seeing them walk through the area, look at the placards, and you can just see their minds drift back to what it must have been like when that building was first built in the late 1800s. And then they come back to me and they say, "This is so cool." And you know, as a docent, it just doesn't get any better than that. You just could see them connecting. However, the last funding, as I say, was in 2010. The other buildings are neither restored nor protected. The upper right-hand picture there is the steam pump building, pump house, only about 10 years ago, when it could have conceivably been restored. Now you see it on the left there under the tarp, probably past the point of restoration, which is why we're recommending the idea of a cover. I don't think we're probably going to be able to restore that building at this point, but we could still have it down there. The other buildings, particularly the Proctor Lieber House, but there's a number of other structures down there that are subject to deterioration, but they're not as far advanced as the pump house, so there's still time to get in there and protect those buildings. What we would like to see, it would be, if we realize that this can't all be done at once, that would be greedy, and we realize the constraints that you're under on the board and we're under in the town. But if we could get into the 5-year plan, the capital improvement plan, so we had some sense of what's coming down the pike, and that would also give us a way to participate in fundraising, which is my next topic, or one more topic down. But that would be give us some sense of assurance that I think would be very, very helpful to us. We also note that there's a strategic plan of the town, and one of the strategies is a steam pump ranch, and this is, of course, completely fitting with that. The other areas we've got, the first one is brought about by the success of the farmers market, and that is to be sure we balance the commercial versus historic assets down at the ranch. There is an easement that's been signed by the town with the county that ensures, requires us to assure that the historic resources are maintained down there. We also have the area around the buildings, the historic buildings, listed on the National Register. That also has some requirements as far as commercial intrusion. The master plan allows for commercial activities under carefully controlled circumstances, and the society fully supports that. All we're saying is that we want to be sure that we respect this balance between the commercial and the historic activities at the steam pump ranch. The next one relates to fundraising. Now, it's obvious, I think, that we don't have the resources to go out and raise the money it's going to take to restore all the buildings down there. But we are a 501c3, which gives us certain benefits when it comes to fundraising. We would like to offer our services to work with the town as far as applying, identifying and applying for grants from the normal sources of grants, government, foundations, whatever. And where it's appropriate, we'd be willing to pursue these on our own. Another thing that we'd like to offer up for consideration is some kind of a incentive arrangement where a matching fund or something like that, where you give us the opportunity to get some money in return for us getting some money. And maybe this would provide a little incentive for both sides to work a little bit more aggressively, and we're willing to entertain something like that if it seems appropriate. The last item that we've got is something that we do have control over. That's our first Oro Valley Historical Gala event. This is going to be coming up in early October. It's going to be a fundraiser for the society. It's going to be a Western-based project or event down at the Lost Territory at the El Conquistador Hotel. We're going to have good food. We're going to have entertainment and possibly including dancing girls. So strictly legit, can, you know, that type of thing. And an auction and the normal spate of fun activities. So we hope you'll all be able to make it down there on 10/10/14 when we're going to be holding that. So in summary, the society and the town have got a very well-founded relationship. We've accomplished a lot so far together. When you think back where it was 5 or 6, 7 years ago, we have accomplished a lot. We have a plan for our suggestions for the future direction, and we're willing to work hard with you to keep Oro Valley history alive. Thank you.
Thank you.